Okay, so we're going to dive into Coco's training by talking about her commands first and going over what our expectations should be from Coco when she goes home. So first thing, when you ask Coco to heel, it means walk next to you on a loose leash. She should be on the left-hand side and the leash should have slack in it. There should be no tension on the leash whatsoever when you ask Coco to heel next to you. She will have free time to sniff on her walks, but you'll let her know when it's time for her to go free with that verbal command. So when she's in a heel, good heel, reward, have the leash nice and loose, and we'll go over how to correct if she doesn't walk next to you on a loose leash. When you're ready for her to sniff or have some free time on the walk, you'll tell her free and walk her towards some grass. That way she can sniff the grass, go to the bathroom if she needs to, and just kind of sniff around and be a dog. Then when you're ready to continue your walk, you'll have her heel again. In the beginning, your walk should be 85% heel and then 15% freedom and sniff time. Then we have sit. Sit means stay until she's told free. So if you stop on your walk to tie your shoe or anything, have her sit, and then she has to stay in the sit until you tell her heel or free. Same thing with going through a doorway. That way she practices her door manners and she doesn't just bolt out and then she'll start pulling on the leash and reverting back to not being well behaved on the leash. Then we have down stay, which means lay down and stay. So she might need a little guidance with the leash for this, but honestly, Coco's really amazing. So you just want to say down, and it means lay down and stay until she's told free. Whenever we put Coco in a stay, whether it's sit down or place, we always go back to her to free her from that down stay. This is going to make sure she has a really solid stay. If we free her from a distance, she's going to think that whenever you get to a certain distance, it's time for her to get up through repetition. So you want to make sure we always go back to her, good down, good sit, good place, whatever we're practicing, and then telling her free from there. So next is place. It's a boundary stay on an elevated bed. So whenever we tell Coco to go to place, she should go. In the beginning, you want to walk her to the bed in your house. That way she knows where it's at, and then you can send her to place from a distance. This is great for when you have people come over or when you're eating so that Coco's not begging at the table. The rules of place are stay on the bed until you're told free, no barking, and no chewing on the bed. If you're going to keep Coco on place for a long period of time, you can give her something to do like a bone to chew on or something like that. Then we have come when called. So when you say come, it doesn't mean come walk with me. It means come from point A to point B. So when you're practicing off leash, at first you want to practice everything on a leash until she understands that the training transfers to you at home. So if you're taking her in a fenced-in area where you have practiced before, have her off leash. If she's out sniffing around, you call her to you, you say come. As she runs to you, back up and praise her, tell her good girl, good job. Once she gets to you, ask her to sit and then give her a reward. I like to put my hand on my thigh to give her kind of a target to look for, because when we call her back she gets really excited and then she might jump. So this prevents the jumping from happening from Coco by giving her something to kind of look at and put her nose up against. So put your hand kind of on your thigh. When you call her back to come to you, reward, and then tell her free, she can go sniff again. So that's come when called. And then we have leave it, where if you drop something on the ground, tell her leave it so she doesn't go eat it. Practice this with dog-friendly, dog-safe food, so like hot dog, chicken, etc. And then if you ever drop pills on the ground or something that's potentially dangerous to Coco, she'll understand leave it means don't eat that from the ground. So those are Coco's commands. Now we're going to go over the remote collar and how we can stay consistent and follow through if she chooses not to listen to those commands. So real quick, the remote collar right here has a little red dot. That is a magnetic key that will turn the collar on. The matching red dot is on the collar itself, so you can see they're right there. What you're going to do is touch the two together and you'll see a green light on the collar. That means the collar is on, charged, and ready to go. It'll flash green every few seconds. That way you know it's on and good to go. I like this feature because Coco can't accidentally turn the collar off. Then on the remote itself, we have the on-off button in the back here. We're going to push and hold that until the screen lights up. Once the screen is on, we know that the collar and the remote are both on and ready to go. We're going to focus on the black S button, and I'm going to go over all the features of the remote collar at the end of the video, but right now just focus on the black S button. So Coco is at level 15. That's enough right now for her to get her attention, and it's enough to stop unwanted behavior. This level could change, but I'll show you that at the end of the video. So I have my thumb resting on the black S button, and let's say we're working on heel and Coco tries to walk too far ahead. I'm going to tell her no, push the black S button, and then tell her heel again. When we ask Coco a command, if she doesn't do the command, we want to mark the incorrect behavior with a verbal no. So you're always going to tell her, you know, that action was incorrect with your words first. You're going to say no. You're going to follow through with your correction because you've told her no, that that's incorrect. So now we follow through with the consequence. Then we ask her to do the command correctly. That way she could possibly earn rewards. So for come when called, she's out there exploring. We call her to come and she's like, no, I'd rather sniff this grass. We'll tell her no, push the black S button, and then repeat the command until she does it correctly. That is with all of her commands: heel, sit, down, place, come, and leave it. All of those commands, if she does not perform them, we will correct with this. You can also correct other unwanted behaviors, so jumping, sniffing the countertops, anything like that that is inappropriate. You want to correct that behavior and then tell her to do something else more productive so that she can potentially earn rewards. So those are the features that we're going to go over right now. And then you're familiar with the prong collar. This is for walks. That way we can stay consistent. How to take the collar off and then squeeze this together to put the collar back on. It's important we use a leash for a few days in the house. That way we can transfer the training and it makes more sense to Coco, so you can show her what your expectations are. Now that she's done with training back into the home, she has a new set of rules and a new outlook on what to expect. So to take away, reward behaviors you like to increase the rate of those behaviors. You should have treats on you even in the house and on walks, especially when you're doing other training like come when called. You want to build that reward history of her doing those commands with you. Then you want to follow through and correct any unwanted behavior or when she doesn't listen to your commands. That way you can stay consistent and your expectations are very clear, so she understands what your boundaries are at home. So that's it for Coco's training. Have fun, stay consistent, and now we're going to show you Coco's commands. Down. Good girl. Down. Good down. Down. Good down. Down. Free. Good job. Sit. Sit. Free. Didn't see it. Leave it. Okay. Okay. Good job. Come here. Leave it. Good girl. Good job. Okay. Okay. Good girl. Place. Good job. Place. Place. Good place. Good job. Place. Free. Good girl. Good job. Okay, so we're going to go over the rest of the features of the remote collar. So the remote collar is on right now. I'm going to show you how to turn it off. It will last a couple days on a charge, so you don't have to charge it every single night. So this is what you want to do when you take it off. Coco can wear this 10 to 12 hours a day, take it off at night. So first thing in the morning, it should go on. We have the quick snap with the bungee, which allows very easy to access to put on Coco in the morning. So to turn the collar off, we are going to touch the red dots again, and you'll see a red light. Once you see that red light, you know that the collar is turned off and you won't waste the battery by leaving it on all night. The on-off button in the back of the the remote itself, you want to push and hold until the screen is blank, and then you know you've turned the remote off. So we're going to turn the remote back on, and then we're going to turn the collar on. Touch the two together. Green light, it's on, good to go. So we went over the black S button, which is going to be level 15. The red S button is for emergencies only. That is going to be level 30. So this is going to boost Coco if you need it. So for example, if you're working on Come When Called and you've practiced in that area before, so you're like, all right, I think she's ready for off leash, and she takes off towards traffic or something like that, and you correct her and say no, and level 15 isn't working because her adrenaline's pumping, so she's able to kind of tune that out. What we're going to do is use the red button for emergencies. We are going to tap that until she comes back to us. The increase in level should be enough to kind of snap her out of whatever she's focused on. That way she's not darting towards something dangerous. We haven't needed this yet, but it's there in case you do need it. Again, it's going to be level 30, so it's going to be a pretty big jump from level 15. Over here we have the T button, which is vibrate. So I haven't used this yet with Coco, but down the road when she's doing pretty well but she's making a little mistake here or there, you can push the vibrate button to say, hey, you know, you're doing well, but you made a mistake. Here's somewhat of a correction. You don't want to overuse it because then it's like you're not following through with your commands. The more you use this remote collar now, the less you'll need it in the future. So you really want to stay consistent for the next couple of weeks. And then for 4 to 6 months, make your boundaries very clear so she can have it as long-term memory. So we also have a flashlight feature when Coco goes outside at night. The on-off button, instead of pushing and holding it to turn the remote off, if you just tap it, it activates the flashlight feature on her collar so that you can see her at night. The little button back here is the M/C button. It stands for momentary or continuous. So if you see when I push down on the black S button, even if I hold it down, it only stimulates for that quick second. That's enough of a correction to discourage the unwanted behavior. She does not need continuous. We use that in the beginning at a very low level to show her what the collar meant. Now that she understands it, we just use it if she does not listen to the commands. So this is rechargeable. The charging port is on the back, and on the collar it's underneath here. So it'll last about 2 days on a charge, and if you turn it off at night, and then it only takes a couple hours to fully charge. So just to keep that in mind, and the charger is in the box. One more thing on the remote, level 15 is working out great for Coco right now, but if she goes home and level 15 isn't working for her, we can always adjust the level. If it's too high, we can turn it down. If it's not enough, we can turn it up. So this is the dial up here, and it's not adjusting the level right now because we have it locked. So to unlock it, we're going to push down and hold it until the 1D is flashing. Now that the 1D is flashing, we can turn the level down or we can turn it up if we need to. So if 15's not working and you realize, oh my gosh, I have to push this button a bunch of times, you can try 20 and see if that works for her, because the distraction level is going to be different in the home than it is here. But again, level 15 has worked even on her field trips and everything. Once you have the dial set to the level that you want to try, so for example 20 or 15, you'll put it to that, and then you'll push down and hold it to lock the level in place. That way we don't accidentally turn the level up or down while the remote's either in our pocket or around our neck. So then you're already familiar with her prong collar. Attach the leash to the hoop that makes it a triangle. That way it works properly. To use this collar, you want to pop and release. You don't want to pull it because then she'll get used to the collar. So make sure to pop and release to give her the signal that she is incorrect in what she's doing. So for example, on a walk, you'll use this first, but then to guide her back, you'll just give a little tug of the leash to tell her that she's walking too fast, and then she'll end up pulling on the leash. So we have Coco's charger that will charge both the remote and the collar at the same time, and then we have this little tool which will adjust the prongs on the remote on the collar if needed. So if you know, she goes swimming or anything, I would just make sure these are snug. They should be. They shouldn't come off. That's why the tool is there though. Right now, Coco's hair is thin enough that she doesn't need the longer extender prongs, but if her hair grows in a little bit more thick or she doesn't get a haircut for a while, you can always change her to the extended prongs. That way they can weave through the hair a little bit better, but right now the short ones are working out just fine for her. We have the instruction manual at the bottom. That way if you have any questions or anything or need to go over the buttons in greater detail, that is available. This does have a 2-year full warranty, so if anything happens to this collar in the next 2 years, they will replace it. But first you want to send them an email letting them know that you purchased the collar. One last thing, this is waterproof, so she can go swimming with the collar on and you can use it while she's wet and everything, but you want to make sure after she's done and you know we're going to put her up for a little bit to take the collar off. That way moisture doesn't build in underneath of the collar, because this does fit snug so that the contacts can make good connection to her skin. So if moisture gets underneath of there and it's not aired out, it could create a bacteria which could lead to a skin infection. So you just want to be careful and make sure she's not super wet when you put this collar on. Make sure her skin and hair is dried thoroughly. So we'll turn this off, touch quick red light, turned off, push and hold until the screen is blank. And then again, it'll last 2 days on a charge and it only takes a couple hours to charge. So that's her remote collar. Reward behaviors you like to increase the rate of those behaviors. Use the collar to correct unwanted behaviors. The more you use it now, the less you'll need it in the future. And have fun, stay consistent.